How's it going, guys? aRenG Life here, and today we're talking about the best cards in the new set that has been, I guess, teased by Konami, Galactic Origin. Now you may be seeing that I'm doing something a little bit different today, and that is because I'm doing something to actually save me a little bit of time. Instead of going through the trouble of editing everything, I'm gonna actually just look at the page that Konami did provide. So we're looking at all the cards that they did show off. So the main title card is going to be Elemental Hero Terra Firma. This guy is actually, I mean, it's some E-Hero support. What I'm mostly excited about is the actual E-Hero monsters used to fuse this guy. Now this guy's actually pretty cool because Elemental Hero Ocean, I think, recycles one of your E-Heroes per turn, and Elemental Hero Woodsman recycles a poly or adds a poly to your hand. So they're really good cards, and this guy you're probably going to be able to make fairly easy. I think this guy's playstyle is basically he used to make your opponent's monsters crash into him. So it could be pretty useful in the sense where your opponent might have, I don't know, like a bunch of weak monsters on the field. You can make them all crash into Terra Firma, and that could be game. It's like a gravity thing. It's a whole gravity pun, guys. Alright, and so let's go ahead and get things started. We were talking about that one, so let's go ahead and look at the actual official list starting down here. We already talked about Terra Firma. Let's go ahead and talk about the next card, which is Exiled Force. Now this guy, or this group of guys, technically, it's a fairly weak card, but what you're going to be using it for is its ability. You summon it, you activate its effect, you tribute it, target one monster on the field, and destroy that target. Now that's really good for getting over a problem monster. Let's say your opponent's got a dangerous monster on the field, maybe like a Silent Magician level 8 Horus, I don't know, Ancient Gear Golem, Blue Eyes, whatever it is, something big and threatening, and you want to expend one card. There you go. If you already have cards on the field, this is when it's most, I guess, best to use, when you already have a decent setup. Otherwise, I don't see how good it's going to be, because it's going to be by itself. Like, if you're just going to normal summon, have nothing on the field, activate it, you better have a backup plan, because you're going to get smacked in the face, dude. Alright, so moving on. Next card we're looking at is Berserk Dragon. Now, this card I thought was really cool. I really did, if it just had to do with its effect. It seems really cool. It's 3,500. You get to special summon it with a deal with a Dark Ruler, and I think it loses 500 attack each turn or so. But it seems like a pretty cool card. But I think once you actually look at the conditional card, to deal with the Dark Ruler, it has a very situational thing where it's like only if you have a level 8 monster or something that gets destroyed, you get to activate it and then special summon this guy. I mean, it could be a backup plan for certain, like, Blue Eyes decks, that is for sure. So, but we'd have to mess around with it. I like this card, but we're gonna have to play around with it to make it actually better, because they gotta be a UR for a reason, man. Alright, moving on. Next card we already talked about, Terra Firma, and the next one is Gladiator Beast Heraclinos. Now this guy, I'm actually excited about this guy. I'm excited about this guy because Glad Beasts are in Duel Links, and that is so cool, dude. Glad Beasts have such a fun playstyle where they basically tag out every turn or so. I mean, there is no main phase 2 in Duel Links, so it's gonna definitely make the deck, I guess, less viable. You can't attack with 2 monsters and then main phase 2 fusion into one of these guys and keep you safe, because this guy is gonna be your boss monster in your Glad Beast deck. It's a fusion. It uses Glad Beast, Laquari, and any 2 Glad Beast monsters. So you actually have to get 3 on the field, which I don't think is that difficult. It just depends, because they tag out every turn. But we do have a lot of really good Glad Beast support. I have been looking through it. Alright, but this guy, I'm excited about this guy, because from what I've seen, his effect is basically like Dark Paladin. If they activate a spell or trap, you can actually negate by discarding a card, kind of like Dark Paladin. So I think this card is actually pretty cool. It shows promise, and you might even be able to farm certain characters with Glad Beasts, and I think that is awesome. I'm excited for that. Alright, moving on. We got Neo Flambeau Sabre, or Sabre, I think that's how it's pronounced. But I don't know how this guy is going to be good. I mean, it's a UR, sure, and it gains 600 attack when your opponent has 4 or less cards in the grave. Sure, that means early on, it's going to be a 2100 4-star, which is cool. But I guess late game, if your opponent has a lot of cards in their grave, if they have more than 8, this guy is going to be pretty mediocre, man. Pretty mediocre, but it looks like a decent card to start off with the 2100 beater, not counting any field spells or anything you may have, which would make it pretty formidable. So it's just a good beater. Moving on, next card, we're looking at Into the Void. This card is also really interesting. I remember I used to play this in the TCG. I used to use it in a deck called Dark Worlds, where you basically want all your things in like the grave or in your hand, drawing, discarding. You have to do a lot of stuff, but this card really works in Dark Worlds. We don't have Dark Worlds in Duel Links, and I think that's a good thing, because Dark Worlds are really, really annoying. And I mean, but I don't know, man. They are a GX archetype, so we might be seeing them eventually. But this card is interesting. I mean, it's basically just you activate it if you have 3 or more cards in hand. Draw a card, and during the end phase, if you have cards in hand, you have to discard all of them to the grave. Now, I don't think it's a good draw card, because you're only drawing 1. But the thing is, if you want your cards in the grave, I think that's the only way Into the Void is actually good. Kind of like how in Dark Worlds. So keep that in mind, guys. If you have a deck that you like, magical merchant type decks where you want your stuff in the grave, then GG. Also, it's pretty cool, like, because you can usually draw what you need and then set it. You just set it all on the field, and you'll be all set. All right, but moving on. This card is all right, but I don't know. I don't see at the moment. I don't see what we can use with it. But moving on, we'll probably see something in a bit. We got the next card is Upstart Golden Ninja, which is actually a really good card. So I'm gonna read its effect. It says, once per turn, you can send 1 trap card from your hand to the graveyard and special summon 1 level 4 or lower ninja monster from your deck in face up or face down defense position. This card is really good. I mean, aside from the fact that it only has 500 attack, if there was a way to bring this guy out and keep him face up defense or something, maybe by his own effect, I think you can summon him. Yeah, he can probably summon himself, dude. So you can summon a ninja, and you can pretty much bring out like the white ninja in face down defense, and next turn it's gonna flip and get its effect, so it gets to do some shenanigans. As long as you make your deck, it's gonna kind of support ninjas. I like it though, I really do. Alright, so moving on. This is another really good card. We got Sapphira, Queen of Dragons. This is a fairly new card, I believe. Or not new, but I think it was in the Arc V or Arc 5 era. And from when I read this effect, I instantly thought of Cyber Angels. Cyber Angels are definitely going to be able to abuse this thing. But they are getting nerfed though, so it might just be the addition that the deck needs, maybe to summon this thing and then take advantage of their I guess I don't know. I don't think they're gonna be. You're gonna be ritual summoning as much because you're only gonna have 1 copy of the ritual spell. But I think this card is really good, even in its own deck. I think I want to make a deck with Sapphira. But the thing is, this is gonna be a main box, so it's gonna be huge. It's gonna have 200 packs, so it's gonna be hard to get the cards you need. So it's not like a mini box where you can buy it 2 or 3 times and have all the cards. This one is gonna be a little bit more difficult to actually get. There's probably gonna be cards that you're not gonna be able to get. Just that's heads up right there. Shout out to all the people trying to get like Mirror Wall and Sphere Karibo. But alright, moving on. This card is actually pretty cool. Next card is called Cosmic Cyclone. Now this card is actually really cool because at first I saw it and I didn't really care about it because I was like, oh, you just pay 1,000 and destroy back row. But the thing is, you pay 1,000 life points and you can destroy or target 1 spell or trap on the field, face up or face down. It doesn't matter, and it banishes it. So there's a lot of cards that are really annoying, like I think like Toon Kingdom and stuff that prevent themselves from being destroyed somehow, or there's cards that prevent them from being destroyed. This thing banishes them. I don't think there's any protection against banishing certain cards. So this card is going to be really strong, but you do got to get that 1,000 life point pay. I don't know, maybe if we see this card more often, we might see more Destiny Draw type decks with Yugi, or Yami Yugi. But moving on, this card's pretty cool. Next card is called Trifortress Ups, and this guy is, I mean, I think what was his name? Roaring Rex, whatever, was using it, and it was okay. But it's a very situational card. It is a UR for whatever reason, but it does state that if your opponent summons 3 monsters that turn, you get to special summon him in defense position or whatever. I mean, you're going to want to summon him in defense. I don't know if you have to summon him, but you're going to bring him out in defense, and he loses 500 defense each turn. So it's basically a wall. and I think it's too situational in Duel Links. Unless this set is gonna be all about speeding up the game and pumping out for, like, I don't know, three monsters per turn, then this card might be useful. But if it's not, then I don't see this guy being that great. But alright, moving on. Rush Recklessly, very simple, quick play card. It's kind of like Super Rush Headlong, but instead of destroying whatever monster instantly, it just gives your monster a 700 attack boost. Good either in attacking or defending, attacking your life points, or your opponent's life points as well. So yeah, I think that's a pretty cool card, but I don't know, man. I think Super Rush might be a little bit more viable, because it still just instantly destroys. But whatever, moving on. Mask of Brutality. This card is, I gotta say, this card is mediocre. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I mean, sure, it's probably our first equip spell that gives us 1,000. I do not know if we have any more equips that give us 1,000 attack, but it gives us 1,000 attack, and loses 1,000 defense. Gotta keep that in mind. And during the standby phase, you have to pay 1,000 life points to destroy the card. I think the main reason it's gonna be used is you use it on the first turn to get over something. Your monster gains 1,000 attack, runs it over, next turn you destroy it. I think that's how it's going to be used. If it's going to be used like that, maybe it might see some support and maybe some kind of like equip decks. It could also be searched by, what was his name, Kotetsu. So, I guess, but I don't know, man. I'm seeing a lot of stuff that pays life points. I'm not sure if Psychics have a thing where, like, with any card that pays life points that you can put a counter on there, field spell or whatever, but I have not played Psychics that much, so I wouldn't know. But I think this card is kind of mediocre, but I don't know. We'll see in the future if it gets better, like it gets relatively better in the game. So moving on, and we got a movie card, a movie boss monster from, I think, the first Yu-Gi-Oh movie, dude. It's Thanon, the Great Sphinx, or some people call him Thinian, I think. I used to call him Thinian, I believe. This card is so hard to summon, dude. I tried using this guy in a deck, and the Pyramid of Light, it's just so difficult to use. In the movie, it was so easy. I think in the movie, you activate Pyramid of Light, you summon Andros Sphinx and Sphinx Talia, and they come out on the same turn or something. But they're actually not that easy to summon. I would be glad to see someone actually using this. That would be insane. I would love that game, dude. But it is a fun card. I mean, it's kind of cool to actually summon it. It does gain a 3,000 attack when it attacks or something, so it can become a 6,500 attacker. But it's really hard to summon. So there's that. All right, but moving on, we got Ufo Roid Fighter. Now this guy, I think, has a lot of potential for just any fusion deck. If you run Ufo Roid, which I think Ufo Roid has the ability to basically search a 1500 or less machine, and it doesn't say except Ufo Roid, so it can technically, if you summon it and it gets destroyed, you get to summon another one from your deck. So if you run 3 of them and you find a way to, like, because it is a tribute card, I think it's a 6-star. So if you find a way to summon the Ufo Roid, you might be able to do some shenanigans there where you can keep it alive a little bit longer and then fuse from your hand maybe a really, really big warrior type monster. Because this guy does say that its original attack becomes the original attack of both cards. So it's going to be 12 from Ufo Roid and whatever from the other one. I think in the new Joey structure deck, he had like some 3,000 warriors, I believe. So maybe that'll work. I don't know. I have like a 4,200 Ufo Roid Fighter, man. That sounds pretty cool. But moving on, the next card we're looking at is called Elemental Hero Woodsman. Now this guy is one of the ones I was talking about. I think these guys were originally in the GX manga. They weren't in the anime too soon. I don't know if they ever made it into the anime, but I know they originally started in the manga, and it was like one of Jaden or Judai's boss monsters. I think it was Terra Firma, and I can't talk sometimes, guys. And this guy is pretty cool. Like I said earlier, this is one of the ones that adds a poly from your deck or grave to your hand, so it recycles a poly. It's pretty cool. Ocean does the same, but with E-Hero monsters, but from your graveyard, I believe, not from your deck. So that makes it a little bit less viable. But it is a 2,000 defense monster, 1,000 attack, and I think it's kind of like Blazeman. So you guys might have your replacement for Blazeman. The guys, for you guys who don't want to spend money on to get 2 or 3 copies of Blazeman, there you go. But whatever. Moving on. Now we got our first Glad Beast monster. We We got Gladiator Beast Laquari. Laquari is like the heart and soul of Glad Beast, I believe. This is one of the cards you really need in Glad Beast. So you're probably going to need multiple copies of this card if you want to make the deck. I know I do. I definitely want to make this deck. This deck looks so fun. But this is one of they all have that tag out ability. So let's go ahead and read its effect. It says, if this card was special summoned by the effect of a Glad Beast monster, which they all pretty much do that because they tag each other out, its original attack becomes 2100, so it becomes stronger if you special summon it with the effect of another one. So if it gets tagged in, it becomes 21. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, you can shuffle it into the deck, special summon another Glad Beast, basically. But it is at the end of the battle phase, right? So you can't just attack. Yeah, at the end of the battle phase. So if you attack with it, you can summon another Glad Beast. I know we have some really good Glad Beasts. I'll talk about them in a bit. I'll give them like a special mention. But you get to summon another one from the deck except himself, which is pretty cool. It's basically just he becomes 21 if you summon him from the deck, and they all have the tag out ability except for the vanilla, which I think is next. Facing lag already. That's annoying. We got Gladiator Beast and Dal. This is a 4-star 1900, pretty much like Vorse Raider. So we got another like Vorse Raider type monster. It's a Beast Warrior. I think Vorse Raider is also a Beast Warrior. This guy might completely replace Vorse Raider, honestly. But this guy's just pretty cool. I mean, it's just a beater. But it does get the tag out effect, so you can special summon this guy from the deck because it is a Gladiator Beast. So I think that's pretty cool. I don't think it's that viable in the Glad Beast like actual deck because it does not have the ability to tag out any other ones. So you can't do the shenanigans where you keep tagging out constantly. So I think when you summon this guy, you're gonna summon him and he's just gonna stay on the field. I think that's cool. I mean, it's still a 19 beater, so pretty decent. I probably wouldn't run it at 3 though. Alright, and now we're looking at Elemental Hero Storm Neos. Like this is probably the highest you're gonna get with Neos fusions. And I'm also pretty excited because we are getting more E-Hero stuff. We're getting the Neos stuff now. And this guy is basically E-Hero Neos, Neospatian Air Hummingbird, and Neospatian Aqua Dolphin. So we're looking at all these monsters you need, and they all need to be on the field at the same time. So it's I don't know, man. It's gonna be hard to summon. But when you do summon this guy, it's gonna be insane because this guy's got a crazy effect that basically I think he has to go back to the extra deck every turn or so. But he does have the ability that when he does do that, when he leaves the field, you have to shuffle all cards on the field into the deck. That is insane, dude. That can make your opponent minus hard. You can make your opponent lose with this card because it could be used to pretty much shut down your opponent. You attack your opponent, get over one of their monsters. You probably try not having many things on the field because this is gonna bounce everything back. So if it bounces itself back and you bounce back like I don't know 3 of your opponent's cards or something, they're gonna have a -3 right there, and that is pretty crazy. I think this card has some game-winning potential. Also the fact that I think they added Neo Space, but I'll go over that in a bit. Next card is Impenetrable Attack. This card I think is actually really good. It basically does state, during the battle phase, activate one of these effects, target one monster on the field, and cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects this turn, or this battle phase at least, and you take no battle damage during the battle phase. It's one or the other, so you either want your monster to not be destroyed, or you want to take no battle damage. I think this card is cool because it gives you that option to choose, and I think that is awesome. So this card might be seeing some play. So I definitely like Impenetrable Attack. Moving on. Alright, and we're looking at our first of the Brotherhood of the Fire Fist monsters. Now, we're getting Fire Fists in the game. That's pretty insane. This deck was actually really strong when it came out, but I think it's because it had certain cards. I think it had, I forget, I think Bear and Rooster were really important in the actual archetype. I remember because I actually had 3 copies of Bear that I bought from somebody, and then very next day, which happened to be on my birthday, they got stolen. Everything got stolen. I lost like thousands of dollars of cards, dude. It sucked. But I had just picked up Fire Fist too. I'd spent so much money on the Bears, dude. But we got their Fire Fist Swallow. I'm making no swallow jokes on this guy though. So this card is interesting. You can special summon this card from your hand by sending 3 face up fire formation spell and trap cards you control to the graveyard. When this card is normal or special summon, you can set one fire formation trap card directly from your deck. That is pretty cool. And you can use the effect of Firefoot Swallow once per turn. Face up, Beast Warrior type monsters you control cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. Now that's pretty cool. He's a 2000 attack monster. Probably gonna be one of the better Fire Fists. I think, I'm not 100% sure. I know they had synchros in their archetype. I'm not 100% sure though. I don't remember. But they had quite a few things. So this guy's pretty cool. Also the fact that we're gonna get all the Fire Fist actual back row cards. Those cards are actually pretty useful, and I think Fire Fist might be a really good archetype. We never know, man. I don't know if they're gonna get all their support. At the moment, I have not checked all the cards, but if they did add bear or what was it, chicken or rooster, it would be a SR or higher. I think that's what I think. All right, so moving on. All right, and we're looking at another Glad Beast monster. We're looking at Neurokius. Now, I hear this is one of the newer Glad Beast monsters, and its condition is basically 3 Glad Beast monsters, so that's kind of cool. It's pretty easy to summon. You just got to get 3 of them on the field, or as easy as it can be for Glad Beast. I mean, but this guy is interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and just read his effect for you guys so I don't mess it up. It must be first special summoned from your extra deck by shuffling above cards you control into the deck. That's another thing. You don't even need poly in this deck. They just contact views, kind of like the XYZs. It cannot be destroyed by battle. If this card attacks or is attacked, your opponent cannot activate card effects until the end of the damage step. So it kind of works like Ancient Gear Golem or some of the Ancient Gear monsters. And also at the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked or was attacked, you can shuffle it into the extra deck and special summon 2 Glad Beast monsters from your deck. Now, Glad Beasts are all about summoning from the deck. The only thing is, I think once you have this guy out, you might not want to do some shenanigans where you send them back, unless maybe you get targeted with something. But I think it's at the end of the end of the battle phase. Yeah, it's at the end of the battle phase, so I don't know if you can do some shenanigans with him, but I would have thought it would be pretty cool if it would be any time, so you can summon him, because you're using 3 Glad Beast monsters to summon him, and you can summon him and then you can tag out to 2 more and you just attack. That would be pretty cool. But it looks like a solid Glad Beast monster. I think the other one's much better, but this guy is still pretty cool. He's still like a monster your opponent can't protect themselves from, so GG. And Glad Beasts do kind of do that. They tag out and they attack directly or try to attack directly, so this guy is pretty good for what you're going to be doing with Glad Beasts. Kind of works like the Ancient Gears, so GG right there. And moving on, we got, I think this is the last SR. We're looking at First Aid Squad. Now, I think this card works in a certain amount of decks. I think it works with Geminis. Yeah, I know it might work with Ojamas as well. It's kind of like a trap monster. It summons itself from the grave. So it's just an interesting card. I don't know a lot about it. I have to see it in play. I have to mess with it. But I do find the art pretty hilarious on this card. If you actually see, obviously you're gonna see the marauding captain and the big old buff nurse guy right here. But in the background you see all these other guys. They're like with all the cute nurses. They're all with the cute nurses. They're making little cutesy faces, and this guy's like, oh man, I got the manly one. I find that really funny. But this card looks pretty cool. I'm gonna go ahead and read its effect. It says, target 1 normal monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. When a normal monster is destroyed by battle, you can special summon this card from your graveyard in defense position. So it's if their monster is destroyed and sent to the grave. So you can special summon this card from your grave in defense position as a normal monster. Warrior, Earth, level 3, attack 12, defense 4. This card is not treated as a trap, so your opponent can't like Storm or whatever. They can't get rid of it. They have to attack it or get rid of it like a monster. And it does say you can only use the effect of First Aid Squad once per turn. If summoned this way, banish this card when it leaves the field. It's just a cool like extra monster that comes out. So I think that's just a pretty cool card. I definitely have to like play around with it and see if we can actually find a deck where this becomes really OP. But whatever, I think that's about it for all the SRs. Next one is a rare, and it is actually a really good rare. is My Body as a Shield. This card is legit, guys. This card is actually really good. I'm talking about the best cards in this set, and we're talking about some of the rares in here as well. So My Body as a Shield is really good because I think it just protects one of your monsters from being destroyed. There are a lot of cards in this set that just destroy things. So My Body as a Shield is very effective for just negating that destruction by paying 1500. Like I said, guys, there's a lot of life point payment in this set. So, I don't know, man. I think abilities like Yami Yugi's Destiny Draw are going to be really relevant because of this, how much you're paying. And there's the Ufo Roid. This guy is pretty cool for the Ufo Roid type fusion deck. For the other guy, for his fusion monster, basically. I forgot his name. But the effect I was talking about earlier, you can, if this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the grave, you can special summon a machine type monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck and face up attack position. Now, he could basically summon another copy of himself in your deck, and you can still fuse next turn. So I think Ufo Roid is actually a pretty cool card. I don't know how great it's going to be, but it's that. We're also looking at, we have Elemental Hero Ocean. This is the other one I was talking about, one of the E-Heroes used to fuse into Terra Firma. This card is just pretty cool. It's once per turn during your standby phase, you can target one hero monster you control or in your graveyard and return that target to the hand. Pretty decent card. Neo Space. So I definitely want to make like a Neo deck, a Neos deck where we actually take advantage of this and actually try to fuse into all this other shenanigans. I think that'd be pretty cool. But there's that. We have a lot of like Glad Beasts we're looking at. We have like Glad Beast, I think Alexander. You have this guy. He's one of the ones that I think can be tagged out. So, cannot be special summoned except by the effect of Glad Beast. Oh yeah, he can only be special summoned by the effect of another one. So, I mean, it's just a rare. But Glad Beasts look like they're going to be really fun. They have their own little searchers and everything. They got their little test tape. Gladiator Beast, Bestiary. It's got best in his name for a reason. This card is the best. You're gonna want triple of this guy. This guy was actually banned in the TCG for a while. Banned or limited, I don't remember, but it was definitely hit. This card was that good because of the effect that if you have like Laquari or whatever, and you tag out into this guy, you special summon him by the effect of a Glad Beast monster. You get to target a back row on the field and destroy that target. And at the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked, they all have the same effect that you get to bounce them back and tag out. So I think that's pretty cool. This card is awesome. This card is great. This card is one of the MVPs in Glad Beast. So this card is really good. I needed to talk about this card. So I'm glad we got that one. And aside from that, I mean, we got some of the Fire Fist support. We got this one. Tensu is really good. I think this is one that lets you, yeah, you get to normal summon again. I don't want to talk about everything because I want to focus on just the best cards, kind of like Pyramid of Light. The best card in the game, guys. I'm kidding. This card is terrible. It is not good. You have to have Androsphinx and Sphinx Talia on the field, then destroy this card so you can summon Thanen from your deck, I believe, which is so conditional. It's so conditional. It's gonna brick so hard, dude. How are you gonna summon those two? Oh my god, it's so difficult to summon them, dude. So there you go. I think that's pretty much it for today. Those were the best cards in Galactic Origin, at least out of the URs, SRs, and some of the rares. I doubt any of the normals are going to be like really meta defining, but you know, I want to leave it up to a surprise, man. Sometimes you'll find a really cool farm card. But that's pretty much it for today. And if you guys enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like, share, and subscribe for more dueling shenanigans. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today. Have a great day, and see you guys!